Howdy, everyone. It's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this August 27th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for joining me. God bless you all. Card on the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist. And please hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell so you stay caught up. All right, so we are still continuing to follow Jesus's journey back to Jerusalem. He's currently in the town of Jericho, traveling through Jericho. And we're going to pick it up today in Luke chapter 19. And the first part we're going to read is a story that, if you've ever spent any time in church, you may have heard of the story of Zacchaeus. You may have actually heard a song about it. Zacchaeus was a wee little man, and a wee little man was he. Okay, something like that. So let's see what happens. Let's go to Luke 19, starting in verse 1. Jesus was going through the city of Jericho. In Jericho, there was a man named Zacchaeus. He was a wealthy, very important tax collector. He wanted to see who Jesus was. There were many others who wanted to see Jesus too. Zacchaeus was too short to see above the people, so he ran to a place where he knew Jesus would come. Then he climbed a sycamore tree so he could see him. When Jesus came to where Zacchaeus was, he looked up and saw him in the tree. Jesus said, "Zacchaeus, hurry! Come down. I must stay at your house today." Zacchaeus hurried and came down. He was happy to have Jesus in his house. Everyone saw this. They began to complain. "Look at the kind of man Jesus is staying with. Zacchaeus is a sinner." Zacchaeus said to the Lord, "I want to do good. I will give half of my money to the poor. If I have cheated anyone, I will pay them back 4 times more." Jesus said, "Today is the day for this family to be saved from sin. Yes, even this tax collector is one of God's chosen people. The Son of Man came to find lost people and save them." Verse 11. As the crowd listened to what he was saying, Jesus went on to tell a story. He was now near Jerusalem and knew that the people thought it was almost time for God's kingdom to come. So he said, "A very important man was preparing to go to a country far away to be made a king. Then he planned to return home and rule his people. So he called 10 of his servants together. He gave a bag of money to each servant. He said, 'Do business with this money until I come back.' But the people in the kingdom hated the man. They sent a group to follow him to the other country. There they said, 'We don't want this man to be our king.' But the man was made king. When he came home, he said, 'Call those servants who have my money. I want to know how much more money they earned with it.' The first servant came and said, 'Sir, I earned 10 bags of money with the 1 bag you gave me.' The king said to him, 'That's great. You are a good servant. I see that I can trust you with small things. Now I will let you rule over 10 of my cities.' The second servant said, 'Sir, with your 1 bag of money, I earned 5 bags.' The king said to this servant, 'You can rule over 5 cities.' Then another servant came in and said to the king, 'Sir, here is your bag of money. I wrapped it in a piece of cloth and hid it. I was afraid of you because you are a hard man. You even take money that you didn't earn and gather food that you didn't grow.' Then the king said to him, 'What a bad servant you are. I will use your own words to condemn you. You said that I am a hard man. You said that I even take money that I didn't earn and gather food that I didn't grow. If that is true, you should have put my money in the bank. Then when I came back, my money would have earned some interest.' Then the king said to the men who were watching, 'Take the bag of money away from this servant and give it to the servant who earned 10 bags of money.' The men said to the king, 'But sir, that servant already has 10 bags of money.' The king said, 'People who use what they have will get more, but those who do not use what they have will have everything taken away from them. Now where are my enemies? Where are the people who did not want me to be king? Bring my enemies here and kill them. I will watch them die.'" All right, so there's kind of a 180 there where we really flip the script on the tone of this story. So let's start with Zacchaeus. So Zacchaeus, we have the picture. Zacchaeus is a wealthy tax collector. Okay, now remember, the tax collectors in Israel were not looked upon favorably. They were seen as traitors, collaborators with the Roman Empire, because oftentimes these tax collectors got greedy and they would take more money than what was they were supposed to according to Roman law. And after paying the Romans their their allotted share of the tax revenue, they would keep the excess for themselves and get rich. So they literally got rich off of their countrymen. And Zacchaeus sounds like was no exception. And then we also see that Zacchaeus is a short man. He's just a tiny guy. Can't see above the wall or whatever. And so when Jesus comes through, there's a crowd there, and I want to see Jesus. And he is so desperate to see Jesus that he goes down the way and he finds a sycamore tree and he climbs up into the tree just so he can see Jesus. And of course, Jesus, he knows where Zacchaeus is. He knows what's happening, and he sees him and looks up and says, Zacchaeus, I got to stay at your house today, man. Come on down. And of course, everyone's like, why is Jesus, why is Jesus associating with a sinner like Zacchaeus? He's a traitor. He's a tax collector. And of course, Zacchaeus, as soon as Jesus, sees him, he's like, Lord, I want to be good. I will pay everyone back 4 times what I stole from them. I will give half of my money to the poor. And, he has the opportunity to do right and repent of his sins, and he takes it. And so Jesus says, today is the day that this man and his family are saved from sin. Doesn't matter who we are or what we've done. We could be as bad as a tax collector during this time. We could be a murderer, a drug dealer. Doesn't matter. But the Son of Man can forgive all sins and save people from all sins. Okay? Doesn't absolve us totally, mind, but he can forgive and save all sins. He came to find all those lost people, no matter where they are, what they've done. And then finally, we see another story that Jesus tells to tell us what God's kingdom has been like, what it's supposed to be like, and what it will be like. So he tells about this man who's going to become a king in a different country. Okay, so here we're talking about Jesus. So Jesus is both king of heaven and king of the earth, right? So those are the two countries I think he's referring to there. And he has these servants, and he gives, we see 3, and he gives each of these servants a bag of money, and he tells them to do something with it and earn more money with it, invest it, or do something with it. So he goes off and he becomes king of the other country. And then he comes back and he asks, what have you done with my money? So the first man says, I took your money and I earned 10 more bags with it. Jesus and the king, Jesus, is like, well done. I can see that I can trust you with these small things. So now I'm going to trust you with these big things. You may rule over 10 of my cities. Okay. And the second one says, I took your money and I earned 5 more bags with it. Jesus says, good. That's good too. You may rule over 5 of my cities. Okay? But then the last one says he was afraid of the king because he was a hard man and he felt that he takes things that don't necessarily belong to him. So he does nothing with the money. He just wraps it up and hides it. And the king is mad. He's furious. He gave him an opportunity to do something with it, even simply put it in the bank and allow it to grow interest. But instead, the servant refused and did nothing. So that money is taken and given to the one who has the most already, the one who earned 10 bags with it. And so that's the picture of, we must use everything that God has given us. Everything that we have, our gifts, our talents, our treasures, everything we have is a gift from God. And the expectation is that we use those gifts wisely for God. Okay? So whatever our talents are, whatever our spiritual gifts are, whatever treasures, money we have, we ought to be using those as best we can in the service of God's kingdom. Okay? And the more we do, then the more rewards we build up in heaven, and the more God is going to trust us in the life to come. Because when we, transition from this world to the next world, God's going to establish his kingdom on earth, the new kingdom. And those of us that have accepted Christ and are part of God's family, we'll all have different jobs, new jobs, things like that. And what our position in heaven will depend on what we've done in this life with the gifts and talents and treasures that God entrusted to us now. Okay. So do the best you can to use what God has given you to further his kingdom, to help others, serve others, and glorify God. Right? All right, that's all for today. We're going to pick it up there tomorrow. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.